So some things for when you join in. Track's green, nice and sunny. Wind has died down. Bingley's
Alright.
completed his pit stop and Penguin's got a little bit of damage. And he's coming to the pit lane.
Alright, we are live, and I've got to tell you, let me know if you can hear me in the comments. That would be fantastic, because we do apologise. Thank you for everybody who stuck with us. We thank you for your patience, because like I was saying half an hour ago, Voodoo, before I left the stream, big thank you to you for filling in whilst I was gone. Wilco has lost the race lead, and now Albert is in that lead 5 laps into this race. Wow, incredible stuff by just a 10th of a second. Barter's in third, and Wilco's main championship rival now is down in only 4th place. So there you have it. We'll just try and get this stream coming through on the phone so we can see some of those comments. Like we say, we do apologise, but we're back on the air now. And it is great to be back. Everything just went black. Nothing was working for me, but we are back on the air now. So loud and clear. Thank you for that, Voodoo. But the race, we've missed it. We've missed a fair bit of the race, but I've got to tell you, Albert leads. Jason Wilkinson in second. Barter's in third. And then it's Matterford in fourth. Let's recap now. Harvey Norman in fifth. V8 Man in sixth. There he is, coming through Stavilo, and that long run towards the final chicane. Righty in 7th, Nobby Nuts in 8th. No sign of him disappearing so far tonight. Hopefully this stream is coming through. I'm coming through loud and clear, and this stream is absolutely clear and crisp quality. A bit of 60 frames per second if you don't mind. Aussie Thunder in 9th, 10th for Messick, as he's into the pits now and out again. So one of only 3 drivers to make their pit stops, along with JJ Penguin and My Bingerling, down there all the way down in 12th. OGT 4 laps down, and it appears that we've got...
I'll jump in. Sorry, Trev. I'll jump in here. OG disconnected on going on to lap 2. And some of these drivers might get caught out now because rain's about to come in 6 minutes, and they'll probably all just go on the slicks.
So, well, that's the big question, isn't it? We're waiting for that rain. You can see it at the top of your screen there. You can see there rain, cloud, and then rain. Green track conditions, temperature of 22 degrees, no real wind to speak of, with 30 minutes left in this race. And it is that man, Prince Albert from Spain, leading this race. P1 for Albert, and P2 for Barters now. So Wilco dropping well down the order, and are those tyres starting to go off, I wonder, Voodoo? But like you said, there is rain on the way, so very silly to come in, make a stop, if you've got to come in and make another one. So that's interesting. So Wilco down to 3rd position now, and he's falling into the clutches of Matterford, the man who is his championship rival, of course, on 84 points. 46 behind Wilco, but if it stays the way it is now, this championship is not going to be over by any stretch of the imagination. But look at this, Harvey down there in 5th, so the field spread out then. V8 Man, 15 seconds, and we've got a yellow flag. And who's that? Somebody off. Binger facing the wrong way there, Voodoo. I'm not sure what happened there, but he's well and truly down the field. Yellow flags out in that final sector there for Binger. So a terrible race for him. I think he's dropped off the leaderboard there on the left-hand side. So we started with about 16, I think, or 15. We've lost OGT, Binger as well. OGT now back out onto the track, albeit 4 laps down. And Penguin, like he's on ice, spinning there at the downhill entrance to the Puon corner, the double left-hander. Very quick corner, easy to get wrong, Voodoo. I think you might have had a moment or two there last night, but he's down outside of the points-paying positions at the moment. So, very interesting indeed. This race is heating up. 28 minutes left in this one. So we've still got plenty of action in the next 28 minutes. But lap 7 then, Albert leads 1.7 seconds now ahead of Barters. Wilco in 3rd, and Matterford is looking to make a move on him as well. Harvey down there in 5th. V8 Man 17 seconds behind the top 5. Right, he's got him well and truly in his sights, doesn't he? Just 1.8 behind V8 Man. Nobby Nuts No disappearing act again tonight. Aussie Thunder all on his own there in 9th. Messick in 10th. And keep those comments coming in. Like we said, we've had our technical difficulties, but we are still on the air. And an absolute pleasure to bring this to you, despite all of the issues we've been having here, ladies and gentlemen. But there we have it. Messick in 10th. JJ after his spin. In 11th, OGT off the track slightly again. And no need for that safety car at the moment. But Voodoo sitting there in the pit lane, just waiting for that call. Albert leads then. Barter's in second. What can Wilco do to close that gap? It's less than a second. It's 8/10 in fact. And, well, things getting very, very interesting here at the moment. And when is this rain going to come? And when are we going to see these drivers make a stop? As thank you, Voodoo, updating the standings there for qualifying. As we can see now, we've got a few people joining back, so we do apologise. We have had to cancel our first stream. As thank you, Voodoo, updating everybody in the comment section there on the qualifying results here. But here at Spa, we are seeing an incredible race. That top 4 separated by roughly 4 or 5 seconds, and that is all that separates them at the moment there. But Harvey in 5th then, as the comments coming through then. P1 was Wilco, of course. Nobby, who started P7, has dropped down to P8. And you've got to say that Harvey then, who's not too far behind that Matterford and Wilco battle, so I'm not sure what's happened to Wilco here, but he might be just struggling a little bit on those tyres. We're not sure about how the wear's going, although Albert's still out in front, but not by too much then. 1.6 seconds that gap, and just managing it nicely. Wilco has fallen further back, so if it stayed as it is at the moment, Wilco, well, he was coming into this race as hot favourite tonight to get the Grand Slam, the Wilco Slam as it's been called. But as you can see, he is absolutely on the pace. The number 1, our reigning champion, of course, hence why he's got the number 1 there. So 13 drivers rounds out the qualifying results. Thank you, Voodoo. So 13 drivers started the race and 12 are left with 25 minutes remaining. And things starting to settle down now, Voodoo. A bit of a holding pattern at the moment until this first round of pit stops, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. It's been a really solid first couple of laps. No safety car has been needed. There are a couple of 2 wide scenarios. As I take a look at the weather, and it's going to be getting heavier in 2 minutes. Yeah, Jesus.
It's starting to rain, Voodoo. You must have done a Nigerian rain dance, because I've got to say that rain, as soon as you said that, Voodoo, it is starting to rain. You can see the drops on your screen, ladies and gentlemen. You can see at the top, you can see the weather there. It is rain, rain, rain. Go again, come again another day, because this is going to throw the cat amongst the pigeons, if you don't mind. Oh, you can see the drivers struggling already. And where is that crossover point going to be, Voodoo? I don't think it's too far away as we see the drivers come round now. And it's going to be mighty close there. I reckon we're going to see some pit stops coming up shortly.
Yeah, 100%. I feel like we're going to be seeing these top 9 fall into the pit lane this lap. Especially with the rain getting heavier, they're going to have to make sure their pressures are dialed in pretty good. Because these conditions could end up changing rapidly over this next 23 minutes. As the winds have jumped up 11 kilometres from what they were 3 minutes ago. So, yeah, very interesting indeed.
So there we have it then. So less than 24 minutes. Are we seeing... we're not seeing... They're not coming into the pits. So it's obviously not quite wet enough yet as Barters gets out of the way. Or I should say, it was not out of the way. In fact, that is for position. Jason down the inside. No, can't get a move done there. And I've got to say, we are going to see some pit stop action very shortly, but you can see that rain getting heavier. You can visually see the rain getting heavier on your screen as somebody spun off. I saw yellow flags there briefly, but now Wilco up through Eau Rouge, lap 9 of this race. And you've got to be brave to make a move there. Oh, did he just go off the track there, but no harm done. And let's hope as this rain gets heavy, you can see Matterford not too far behind the leading trio. But as this rain gets heavier, those puddles that we saw at the top of Eau Rouge could become deadly, as we see now Wilco, and where is Albert? He's 3.4 seconds in the lead, so it's going to be interesting. You can see the rain on the windshield of that car, and Albert just treading very lightly there. Used to sunny weather in Spain, but he is leading this race by 3.4 seconds now. The smart move, will he come into the pits this lap, or will he continue on once again? And he's off! Off the track, Voodoo! Look at that, Albert, who dropped halfway through the race. And Albert has lost it on the corner with no name, I think it is. And you can see the damage on his car. He's falling down the field. And is he going to... Well, that is what can happen. You've got to tread so carefully in these changeable conditions. And he is down into 4th position now, just ahead of Harvey, as Albert Barters inherits the race lead. So this battle between Barters and Wilco is for the race lead at the moment. Incredible stuff. Albert there. As you can see, the time's updating on the left of your screen. He has a fair bit of damage, so now he will be into the pits this lap. I'll bet my bottom dollar he will be, because that is awful luck for Albert, and now he's under all sorts of pressure from Harvey. But how much damage has he got, Voodoo? It looks like a fair amount of damage on that number 9 Porsche. I reckon we're going to see him into the pits this lap. And Barters now leads, inheriting that lead from his teammate, in fact. And Barters, is he coming into the pits? Yes. Will Wilco follow him in? No. So Wilco stays out along with Matterford. Barters in the pits, and now Albert has stayed out as well. Voodoo, what is going on here tonight?
Yeah, I'm not too sure. I don't know whether these drivers want to be setting themselves to the Shadow Realm this early. You know, taking wet tyres when the track isn't quite wet yet can cause the tyres to overheat. So some of these drivers may be going that long run, waiting for more water to get onto the track. But the curbs are already slippery, as it could be getting even heavier. I think in 6 minutes we might end up having heavy rain, so we might see some puddles forming very soon. Winds jumped up to 17 kilometres. So some of these drivers that have done that early pit stop to get the wet tyres on might be in that more viable opportunity.
So lap 10 of this race, and that is the question, Voodoo. It could be a masterful piece of strategy, or it could be an absolute disaster. We've seen Barters coming into the pits early, so he's made his pit stop. We see Messick, Thunder, JJ and OGT have also come into the pits, but like we said at the top of our show, they will have to come into the pits again. But look at this lead battle, Matterford. It's just a battle to keep these cars on the track at the moment with 20 minutes, and Matterford's off again.
No.
And Matterford's off as well. I beg your pardon. I shouldn't say he's off again, because the same coloured cars, aren't they? Him and Albert. Now Matterford's gone off at the same corner, Voodoo. I reckon we've got a bit of the same thing we saw last night. There could be just a puddle or something forming at the exit of that corner, and Matterford looks like he's got heavy damage, but this sees Jason Wilkinson take the lead. We saw him dropping down the order in the early part of this race, but he is back into the lead now. The man from pole position, Albert, there. You can see who's Albert not too far behind, so Albert's got damage, but how much we don't know. And now Jason Wilkinson, you can see how carefully he's got to tread here, Voodoo. He's got to tread so cautiously, and just be very gentle on that accelerator pedal as he comes through to complete another lap. And he's run wide. He's gone off the screen. He's run wide off the track. Surely he's going to come into the pits this lap, because you can see how heavy the rain is getting here at Spa. And it is one of those tracks. Wilco, no, he's staying out again, Voodoo. Staying out again. So these boys seem to be condemning themselves to the Shadow Realm here, because this is just getting a bit crazy, if you don't mind. Albert's still out there with damage. Harvey up to 3rd, if you don't mind. And now Matterford is in the pit lane. And Barters all the way down to 8th after his stop. So Matterford is in the pits. And he's coming to join you there, Voodoo, sitting in the safety car, getting pretty good seats to this. But Voodoo at the moment, this is getting hectic here, as Wilco now 2.2 seconds in the lead. And look at that. It seems to be, we've got another yellow flag, somebody else off. I'm not too sure who that is. Let's have a look. JJ off the track there, Mr. Penguin. But Wilco then, lap 11 of this race. This is unbelievable, isn't it? As Rick Oztech don't hit the wet spot at the top like last night. That is the big concern here. But lap 11 of this race. And now Albert's closing in on Wilco. But he looks to, tell you what, he can't have too much. He looks like, you can see the front of that car pretty beat up at the moment. But he's catching Jason at the moment. So this is very interesting stuff. Thank you for sticking with us out there, Rick. As we tick over, then 17 minutes left in this one. Wilco loves the wet races. Bit of a conspiracy theory going on, says Rick Oztech. And Albert in second. Let's have a look at Harvey. Oh, Harvey losing it there. Downhill, going downhill through Puon there. So there is something going on in this part of the circuit, Voodoo. V8 man up to fourth. Albeit 21 seconds behind Harvey in third. Righty in fifth, if you don't mind. Now Matterford in the pits. Nobby Nuts as well. Barters streaming through. Rick reckons there's a bit of a conspiracy going on here. Nothing to do with the Shadow Realm or the Russian submarine last night. And Albert into the wall. Was it Albert into the wall there, Voodoo?
Yeah, Albert went into the wall. Wilco managed to just get past again. I think he might have slipped on the curbs. There is a lot of water on the curbs and the runoff areas now. So touching those in the Cup car with no traction control isn't viable, as Albert's got no traction. So I wouldn't be surprised if we do see these drivers going on to at least really low pressured wets, just so they don't burn them up very soon.
As Cart Dude says, I'm glad I've missed this one, considering these conditions, and it was wet. If you thought it was wet before, you can see puddles starting to form now as Albert does come into the pit. So if Wilco can just keep going for as long as he can, then this race could be in the bag with all of his championship rivals dropping by the wayside here, Voodoo. And what have we got after this race? Round 8, we've got 3 rounds left in this championship. So Wilco, if he can just keep it on the road, all pointing in the right direction, he could go a long way to wrapping up this championship. And that's with our Tier 2 championship leader alongside me, of course, ladies and gentlemen, the great man Voodoo. Don't forget to check out his channel. V is for Voodoo, streaming more often than not. Yellow flags. Who's that? There's another driver off somewhere. Might be JJ. And there he is. Spin, Voodoo. Look at that. And JJ off the track. And there's it's going to get worse before it gets better down there at that part of the track. I think it's the downhill entrance to Puon. And that is where the rain is really coming down. And it's one of those circuits, Voodoo, 7 kilometres long. It can be raining harder in some parts of the track than others. And it's probably one of the worst tracks. And Wilco, geez, how did he save that, Voodoo? That was heart in your mouth stuff. But lap 12 of this race, and Wilco has a massive lead, Voodoo.
Yeah, Wilco's just run off the track there. I think he's finding out that he probably should have gone into the pit lane, as he's got no traction starting to come through. I mean, to be honest, these Cup cars have got zero traction control. And even driving around last night in the GT3 was very challenging alone. So, yeah, it's interesting to see Wilco's the only driver to not make his pit stop yet.
So there we have it, Jason Wilkinson, our race leader. And you can see, as you would expect with a wet race such as this, the drivers look at those gaps. 20 seconds, 16, 46. Your supplementaries are JJ and OGT down there in 11th and 12th. So we had 14 drivers, I think, start this race. And only 12 are left. But lap 12 then, Wilco, the only man to not make a pit stop, but he has a gigantic lead. And I think Albert stopped, but he hasn't repaired that damage fully, mind you, as 9 people watching this stream now. Great to have each and every one of you with us. We do apologise for the technical difficulties, as Jason Wilkinson, my goodness me, he almost did a David Coulthard there from Adelaide many years ago. He almost whacked it into the pit wall, but he comes into the pits, championship winner, of course. into the pit lane, reigning champion, and we can see Voodoo as well as Barters, I think, back into the pits, Manafort as well. But let's keep an eye on Albert, and he's still got a long way to go, but we'll see how long this pit stop of Wilco's takes. He doesn't appear to have any damage, Voodoo, so it could be just new tyres. And like you said, we've got to get those tyre pressures right. Given these conditions, somebody else has spun. It's not JJ, he's in the pits. Could it be Aussie Thunder? No, he's in the pits as well. Nobby Nuts. And Nobby Nuts.
Into the pit wall.
Things are getting very hectic, and there's going to be a big damage bill at the end of this race tonight. As Mahoney says, you're not missing anything. As thank you for that, Joe. And Joe joining us as well, along with 10 other people tonight. And I've got to say, we saw it in Tier 2, and it's getting just as hectic tonight. In Tier 1, the rain took a while to come along, but boy, it's absolutely wreaking havoc at the moment with only 12 minutes to go. Still, who is going to win this race? Get your comments in, because Wilco comes out of the pit lane now in this very, very long pit lane here. As you can see, it's my dog trying to get into the commentary box there. You're going to have to stay out, unfortunately, because, gee, that is a long pit lane. I think it takes in the F1 pit lane and then the old pit lane as well. I think that's something to do with the endurance. This is where the endurance guys, because there's more cars, isn't there, in the endurance rounds here? So they need more room. And yellow flags out again.
This is going to be very interesting now. Harvey's just about to do his run up the hill as Wilco's just about to exit pit lane. So we could end up seeing the lead change here.
Here we go then, Harvey coming up the hill. We haven't mentioned this man's name too much, but he's been the quiet achiever. Albert behind him, and it's going to be very close. Wilco comes back out onto the track, and look at that. Harvey's got a good run over here. Can he take the race lead? Look at this. First, second, third, all together, and Harvey pulls out, and he's going to make a move on Wilco. I reckon Wilco breaks a tad earlier, but Harvey takes the lead. Where did this man come from, Voodoo? A little bit of Nigerian shake and bake magic there as he passes him at the top of the hill. My goodness gracious me, Wilco on new tyres, yet to get up to temperature, has lost the lead. And now Prince Albert says, Buenos noches, señorita! And he is coming up right behind Wilco, and he's going to have a little bit of a go here as well, Voodoo. But 10 minutes left in this race. Who can keep the car on the track? This is where we've seen a lot of drivers going off the circuit tonight at the corner with no name. But Wilco, the man, the myth, the legend, as you say, Voodoo, and a man who's usually so comfortable in these conditions, is struggling tonight. As Albert looking to make some moves on him, but now Wilco looking to make some moves on Harvey. This race is not over, V8 man. Let's take a look at the drivers lower down the order. V8 man in fourth, Ridey in fifth, a long way back, so there's some big gaps in that midfield. Nobby Nuts, great to have you with us. No Shadow Realm for you tonight, my good friend. Down in seventh, Messick in eighth, Manafort in ninth. Not good for his championship. Aussie Thunder into the pits and now out of it. JJ Penguin 3 laps down, along with OGT, but 13 laps gone in this race, and Harvey is streaking away. Just look at him. And down, look at this, he's streaking away. And who will win this race? Let us know in the comments. It's open season, Voodoo, and somebody off. I think it's Albert again, but he's managed to gather it up. He's run wide. That bonnet looks like it's been knocked around more than Big Shepherd Sinbad's on a Thursday night before Easter, the Easter weekend. But look at this, lap 13, as go Nobby go, brother. So, go Nobby go, says OGT. Sorry if my rejoining glitched anybody out. I don't think so. But there we have it. So, OGT down there in 12th. Thanks for that comment, OGT. But this is so close. A little bit of deja vu, Voodoo, if you don't mind. From last night, we've got first, second and third separated by, get this, just over 1 second with 8 minutes to go.
Oh, it's absolutely crazy. Track's gone down. Curbs are very slippery, and there's a fair amount of opportunities where the water builds up and you can go into Aquaplane City here. The rain's easing off in 6 minutes apparently, as Albert is right on Wilco's clacker.
And Albert then right, oh, there's some traffic there. Shades of Mika Hakkinen, remember that move? Years ago at that same spot on Michael Schumacher, when I think it was the BAR of Ricardo Zonta got involved, but Albert couldn't quite get the move done like Mika did a few years ago. And who could forget that? What a move! One of the best moves in Formula One history. And you could just hear Albert saying, "I had to get past the Wilco," and he couldn't quite get it done on that occasion. But Harvey, and oh, that is so close. Did they make contact there? No, they didn't. But it is very close here. Harvey, who made the move on Wilco coming out of the pit lane, now appears to be struggling in these wet conditions, and Wilco all over the back of him. And keep your eyes open for a puddle. Aquaplane City. And thank you for that Voodoo, magnificent stuff. Just a bit of a takeoff of the famous Car City advert. Maroondah Highway, Ringwood, LMCT 8399. That's in Victoria, of course, Voodoo, and you are a South Australian, so you probably wouldn't have seen that advert, but I digress, because lap 14 of this race, and it's getting closer. It is getting closer and closer. The rain is easing up in about 6 minutes' time, I think you said, which means probably about 5 minutes' time now. But look at this. Who have you got your money on? Get your comments in. I know you're out there. I know you're watching. Happy Easter to you all. Have a safe and happy Easter. All the stuff you're used to hearing out of the brochure. But Harvey is around. Oh no! Look at that. Harvey spin, spin, spin. Round, round, round he goes. And that leaves Wilco and Albert fighting it out. But now Albert's gone deep, has he? Into the last corner. He's going to have to take that escape road. I think that's what happened to you, Voodoo, last night. But when in your battle with Nobby. But Albert in first, Wilco in second. I still reckon, I'm not a betting man, but I've got to say that Wilco, my money's on Wilco here. I don't know why, but I've got that feeling. I've got a sense that Wilco could win this race. He's experienced. He's been in these scenarios before. But what happened to Harvey? Just lost it, didn't he, coming up to that final chicane?
Yeah, I think he might have clipped a bit of that AstroTurf, and it's very slippery here, and it's not easy by all means. Wilco's possibly just taken another track warning, so he might be on his last one. He's going to have to play it easy from here.
Here we go then. Less than 6 minutes. Harvey then taking a slightly different line. What is Albert doing there? Are these drivers just trying to keep those tyres cool? That is another big question. It could be something.
So what happens is your tyres end up heating up rapidly if you keep on taking the same dry line all the time. So Albert would have just been trying to get a little bit of that water that doesn't get touched to cool the tyres down. I wouldn't be surprised if he'd be upwards of about 32, 33 PSI at the moment.
So there we have it, coming from our current Tier 2 Championship leader, Voodoo. Wilco then. Almost had got a tank slapper on there when he put the power down, but that corner's been causing havoc ever since it started raining. And when it's flooded, floor it, says OGT. Thank you for that advice, Albert. Then lap 15 of this race, and you can see that bonnet just hanging on for dear life. But he had a big moment, didn't he, Albert, a few laps ago, and that is what caused that damage. You can see on your screen. But Wilco then 1.1 seconds further back, so that lead is extending now for the Spaniard, and Wilco in second. So you can see there Harvey in third now. He's dropping back a little bit, but V8 man is 52 seconds behind this top three at the moment. But not a bad race for V8 man, it has to be said. And you can see there he's kept his nose clean, which is more than what I could say for Ridey, who's gone off at the top of the hill after Kemmel Straight. And that fair bit of damage there to that pink Porsche. So he might be in some trouble, but he's 14 seconds ahead of Barters. So if he can just hang on, we may see the Pink Panther finish in fifth, albeit with a fair bit of damage there. Nobby Nuts, who is off as we join him. A bit of Tokyo. Good recovery there. A bit of Tokyo drift up the hill, but he's back on track. Matterford now not far behind him, actually. In fact, I beg your pardon, he's a fair way behind him, isn't he? But 10 people still sticking with us. We do apologise for the technical difficulties, and we do thank Voodoo, the Nigerian prince. Thank you to you, Voodoo, for sticking with it and keeping our viewers, our loyal fans, updated throughout the issues we were having in the early part of the stream. But there we have it, Albert in first. Not a bad result for Wilco here, 18 points to add to that 46-point championship lead, and he's going to gain a lot on Matterford, isn't he? Who's, what's that? So 3 points, 18 points, so a 15-point. He's going to gain 15 points in the championship there. So what's that? 61 points. Going to be a 61-point lead, Voodoo, with 3 rounds to go. Don't talk too soon, kid buyers, because oh my goodness, he's just drifting that thing through the corners, and I've got to say, OGT says, come on, get the dogs, V8 man to 4th. Not bad for jumping in with no practice. As righty as well. So OGT, leave your comments. We'd love to hear from you. Driver of the day.
Albert went into the wall.
And Albert's into the wall, is he? And it's the same corner again. And now that's given Wilco a chance to catch up. Something's happened to Harvey as well, because he's now 6.8 seconds further down the road. Who is your driver of the day with the 2 minutes remaining, Voodoo? Who's your driver of the day?
Oh, I think my money's going to have to be on V8 man at the moment. It's been an incredible drive by him, and we haven't seen him appear this season. He's been a bit busy with work, and to rock up with minimal practice and sit in P4 at the moment in challenging conditions by all means, fair play to him, and I think he's got my driver of the day vote at the moment.
There we go, OGT righty. I'm not sure whether that's a driver of the day vote, but please get them in. And less than 2 minutes remaining, so I think we might have this lap and one more lap to go. But you can see the gap. Jason is hunting him down, closing. He likes to get things done at the last minute, doesn't he, Voodoo? We saw that last week on Matterford at Imola with that pass on the final lap. And considering that rain's meant to be lightening up or easing up, it doesn't look like it's easing up too much, does it? But 90 seconds left in this race, so we're going to come across the line to complete lap 16 and then one more lap, and then we're just about to hear the universal boss give us the call. That's right, leader on the final lap, thank you for that universal boss, don't blush baby. And lap 17 of this race, thank you for that, Chris Gale, driver of the day, V8 man. I've got to say, OGT, I agree with you. So one vote from OGT, one from me, one from Voodoo, so V8 man getting the votes, and as soon as we give him the votes, he is off the track. Which we haven't seen too much, but he's managed to gather it all up. He still might be all right in 4th there, I reckon. Although Righty is catching him, but I think he might be right. This is going to be the last lap of the race. So where can Wilco get a move done? We see both drivers, 1st and 2nd, going offline to cool those tyres, Voodoo. But you don't want to put yourself too far offline with 30 seconds remaining. You can see that on the top right-hand corner of your screen. This will be the last lap of the race. And it went down to the wire last night, Voodoo. I don't need to tell you that. And you can see here now, Albert. Oh, who's going to keep it onto the track? One mistake is all it's going to take here, Voodoo. And we could see Wilco go through into the lead.
Yeah, we could. I think this is going to be very much down to the line. It's on Albert at the moment. He's carrying a fair bit of damage, and we don't know how much he repaired in his pit stop to keep himself in the race. So it's going to be interesting.
0.7 of a second as we start the downhill run to Pouon for the final time. Look at this, it's less than a second. One mistake could be the difference between winning this race or losing it. As Ayrton Senna used to say, he was pretty handy in the wet conditions as well. Ayrton Senna used to say, you finish second, you're the first of the losers. And oh, look at this, it is so close, down to Stavolo for the final time. And Wilco trying everything he can, flashing his lights at Albert, but the Spaniard is cool as a cucumber. Not sure what the word for cool is in Spanish, Voodoo, but I'm sure Albert will know that and let us know after the race. But look at this, Albert versus Wilco, Spain versus Australia, both of these boys looking to win this race tonight. It's down to 5/10. Are you nervous, Voodoo? I sure as hell am, because this is nail-biting stuff. It's going to go down to the wire. Albert runs wide there. Coming up to the final chicane, Albert. Oh, don't go deep into the final corner. Albert through the final corner, out of it again. He's going to win this race. Jason's not going to be able to get him, but Prince Albert crosses the line to win this Tier 1 race here. Round 7 of this championship. Wilco finishes in 2nd. Harvey, go, Harvey, go. Go, Harvey Norman, go. And there you can see the fireworks have started, Voodoo. Not sure how they're going to go in this heavy rain, but it is damp all right. Harvey across the line in third, and here comes our driver of the day. What a finish, says OGT. A fantastic race. Hopefully this audio is coming through nice and crisp on the brand new Logitech Pro X headset. Big shout out to Logitech as well. So just kidding, I made out they're sponsoring us, but they're not. But V8 man.
Oh no, Madford.
And what's happened to Matterford, Voodoo? He is spinning. And there's big damage, big damage on that car. And who's behind him is Aussie Thunder. No, I think he might be right. I think he's going to finish ninth, no matter what he does, Voodoo.
Yeah, absolutely. As long as he can get it over the line, I think he should be fine for P9.
So P9 for Matterford, Aussie Thunder. Good effort by him. He crosses the line. I think he's has already completed the race. JJ into the pits. OGT a long time ago. And there we have it, our race winner. And muchos gracias for Albert 92 F1. We're going to hear that beautiful Spanish voice in the party in the not too distant future. Wilco ominously sitting on the camel straight there. Is that for the photographers there? I'm not too sure. Might be for a thumbnail. Look at that. Wilco just sitting on the track. He's back in the pits now. The donuts have started. And Voodoo, I might get you to invite our top three. Hopefully.
Just done that one.
Awesome stuff. Very good stuff. I think, given that we are streaming on the PSN, of course, that means that the top three will have to allow their voice to be shared. OGT saying, it's sweet, Trev. Thank you for that, my good man. And a pity about your race tonight. But still, what a race we saw. What a finish. What a week we've had for round 7 of this KRL Championship. Big Harvey Norman, the man on your screen, has been good enough to join us. We're just going to wait for our top 2 now to join us, as it's a very...
Nobby's still making his way up the back straight to get over the finish line as well. So
here we go then.
Keep an eye on him.
Nobby, at least he hasn't disappeared into what we like to call the Nigerian Shadow Realm, as he is coming up to the final corner. Our race, our second place man has joined the party chat there. We'll get to you boys in a moment, but here comes Nobby, the little engine that could. I think I can. Here he comes around the final corner to finish in P5. I think it's going to be in the end, unless the other drivers have just left the session. But he comes across the line as we're going to get to our top 3. And top 3, here we go, our race winner, Albert. What a night it's been, not just for you guys, but for us in the commentary box as well. Voodoo's stuck with us right throughout. We do apologise once again, but we're going to go to our race winner, Albert, and talk us through your race, mate. A big muchos gracias to you, and congratulations on the win tonight in very tricky conditions, mate. Talk us through it.
Yeah, thanks, guys. We can't have a quiet race, right? It's always something happening. My God. Yeah, I checked at the last lap and I had 40 seconds of damage because when it started drizzling, I in no-name corner I just went over the curb and it sent me to the wall. I think the same happened to Madefort, I think. Yeah. Yeah, I was not happy when I saw the rain because I was feeling all right. But yeah, I guess after the I pitted 1 lap earlier than Wilco, and on my out lap I spun, of course, classic. Harvey nearly collected me, and then that little incident but Harvey spun. Cool. Wilco had to kind of brake, and I had to avoid, and I went out of track. I felt a little bit bad because I kind of overtook him out of track, and I did a Verstappen. But this is not.
I should have been on the radio. He passed me off the track.
I was gonna say, no, this is not F1.
I went the other way.
Yeah,
so right.
Exactly. This is not F1. This is KRL. So, but yeah, amazing, and yeah, congrats to Jason, Wilco, and to Harvey because it's really hard and tricky conditions tonight.
Great stuff. Fantastic effort, mate. You did have that moment early in the race, but you managed to come back, mate. You took the win tonight, so congratulations and fantastic effort. We'll catch you next week.
Thanks.
There we go. Adios. Hasta.
Adios, te quiero.
Oh, there we. Yes, he beat me to it. How good is that? We know which state you're into, Albert. There. So anyway, enough about that. But let's head across to our second place man. a man who's going to be slightly disappointed. He's got into the habit of winning, but he didn't quite get the win tonight. I speak of Jason Wilkinson from Carrum Downs. Wilco, talk us through your race. P2, still good for the championship, though.
Oh yeah, no, definitely. That was the main thing there. Make sure I still got some good points. But yeah, that was an epic race. Like once got out to a nice little lead, and then the tyres just started going. I don't know what I was doing. Like the pressures dropped a bit, and I was struggling. And then yeah, Albert and Barters passed me, and then after a few laps, I started catching up to Barters, and then I've seen Albert around, and then Barters went in the pits. I'm like, okay, here's my chance to push now. So did that, and then I was talking to V8 Man and Ridey in the party. They're like, oh, it's wet. So I'm like, oh, I don't know. Like, it's getting cold. But I was going back to the KRL race at Hungary, where you had Jacko and the HSV stayed out on slicks when it was wet like that, and they were way faster. So I'm like, fuck, gotta just, I'll do one more lap and see. And then I'm like, yeah, no, it's definitely time for wets now. So come out, yeah, all over Harvey for a bit, and then he sort of pulled a little bit, and then luckily, he did pull a little gap because I've come around launching one and there's a car backwards, and you always follow the rear of a car, Trev, when there's a car spinning. His rear turned around more than I won't finish that joke, but it was just going woo, woo, woo. So I went left, got on the grass, nearly hit in the wall, but saved it BNR. And then, yeah, catching up to Albert towards the end, just one more lap might have been a bit more interesting, but yeah, no, definitely well done to Albert with all that damage, and Harvey for his first proper race back, and up from P3, so that's good to see too. So well done everyone there.
Awesome stuff, Wilco. Thank you again, my friend. P2 for you tonight, and which I don't have the points in front of me, but I reckon, what is that, 18 points? Where did Matterford finish? P9. 16-point advantage there, which should take it up to about close to late 50s, 60s, so you could get things wrapped up next week, I think, at Laguna Seca. But anyway, moving along to Harvey. Harvey, can you hear us there, mate? P3 for you tonight?
I had a good race.
And
I don't know, Harvey, you there, mate?
Have we got Harvey? I was about to ask whether his voice is...
Maybe he fell asleep in my extended. There we go, there he is.
There we go.
Oh, how's it going? Sorry, boys.
No, don't be sorry, mate.
Yeah,
talk us through it.
I was there or thereabouts in the dry. I was sort of, keeping up with Matterford, but not really. Like, even when the front boys were sort of fighting, I wasn't really gaining. I was just sort of there or thereabouts. And then it was getting slippery and wet, and me and Albert dived in, Wilco stayed out, and then another lap went through. Albert spun, I've got in front, and then we both came out in front of Wilco, which I didn't think we would. I thought he would really build a big gap, and then was going pretty well. And then, I don't know, something weird happened. I don't know if I hit a bump or some sort of glitch, and the car just snapped on me as hard as it did. Good job, boys, for, missing me, because I was a big-ass roadblock in the middle of the road.
I think Albert and I are going to change our undies.
Yeah, so
Yeah, Code Brown.
I definitely thought I was going to get collected, and then just after that, I just couldn't keep up. My tyres are like yellow, red from that spin, and they didn't have a good chance to cool back down, and they would go on. I just kept losing pace, but overall, not a bad race, and congrats to Albert and Wilco, and all the boys.
Great stuff. Fantastic, mate. P3 tonight for you. Podium finish. There we have it. That's our top three. Looking at these comments as well before we wrap up again tonight. What an exciting round. It's been wet for Tier 2 and Tier 1, but what exciting finishes, or just exciting races we've had tonight. It's been absolutely incredible, and it's been a pleasure to bring it to you. And thank you, OGT. Love the community of sim racing legends. And that is fantastic. They're the comments that really keep you going, don't they? But everyone who's tuned in, and Voodoo, thanks to you, mate, for updating everybody whilst we were off the air. And, well, there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. That's a wrap for round 7. Don't forget round 8, Laguna Seca next week. Not too sure whether we're going to get too much rain in the desert. But, funnier things have happened. But just a quick word, too, on V8 Man, who is officially Voodoo. I'm just trying to count these votes up here in the comments section as I go, but I think he is our driver of the day. Not bad for someone coming in without much experience. He's been working funny hours, but he came in tonight and in a crazy race put it up into P4. So congratulations, V8 Man, all the way up there. Hopefully not in a COVID hotspot in Queensland. But there we have it, guys. That's a wrap for round 7 of KRL. Thank you for sticking with us through what has been an eventful night, not just for me in the commentary box, but for the drivers as well. What a hectic race it was, but it's been a pleasure to bring it to you. Don't forget Laguna Seca next week, Wednesday and Thursday. Wednesday for Tier 2, Thursday for Tier 1, and it's going to be great to have your company. Have a happy Easter, have a safe and happy Easter. Be kind to one another, and we'll see you next time. It's bye for now.
Catch it, boys.